Hello, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the Heart. Thanks ever so much for joining me on your reading. So we are doing a 4 weekly reading today. I decided to do a different time span because I started off doing Pisces, recording them yesterday for the 18th of March, just for a week sort of thing. I was just going to do sort of like a midweek type thing. But then I discovered that the type of reading that I was doing, the energies felt like it would span a lot longer than that. So it felt like it was more like a 4 weekly reading rather than a 1 week one. So that's why it's changed. We're doing the Gypsy Tarot spread. A slight difference on that one. If any of you guys don't know what the Gypsy Tarot spread is, it's a reading in which we use 7 columns to look at various things to do with the client. So we're looking at, in column 1 will be the mental and emotional. Now the first card in that area, so it's a 7 column, it's 7 columns, 3 cards per column, okay, so it's 21 cards. The first column, the mental and emotional, you'll find that the very first card is where the thought process is. So it's what you're thinking of, and if it's what you're thinking of, then usually it's probably the situation that's going on. So really we use the first card really to denote what the situation is, so what the reading's about, and then we follow through with all the other areas on that, okay? So for the reading today, we're using my trimmed Everyday Enchantment Tarot, which I absolutely love. For clarifiers, only if we need to use the clarifiers. I don't always use clarifiers. I don't think it's necessary on this reading, but if I do, I use the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot. And for your spiritual guidance, we use the Mystical Wisdom Oracle deck, which is a beautiful deck, fantastic. So with that being said, let's get started on the reading. Okay, so let's have a look then, Leo, what's going on. So this area, as I've mentioned, is the mental and emotional, and this is really what the situation's about. So I always start really now from this area here. What's the situation about for you guys? The Two of Coins. So Two of Coins can be kind of needing to balance your money, so it's incomings and outgoings and having to try and manage. Money management can be the Two of Coins energy, so there might be something to do with money, managing your money, Leo. But also the Two of Coins can be one of those cards that talks about having to kind of balance a lot of stuff. So this is the card that shows that you've got when you've got a lot of responsibilities, when you're really busy, when you're trying to, you know, balance and juggle a lot of responsibilities with the Two of Coins energy. You can see on this particular Two of Coins, the guy's got several, you know, he's got food in both hands, he's a waiter, and he's having to kind of, amidst all of these people here, he's having to kind of, you know, maneuver himself all around and try and kind of manage what he's got, the workload. So there's a few cards in the tarot that really indicate somebody who's got a heavy workload. Cards like the Ten of Wands and also the Two of Coins can be that. The Two of Coins can also be about trying to make a positive transformation, and it can also be about communication and debate. Let's have a look at how you're feeling about this Two of Coins though, mentally and emotionally. Yeah, I feel that you're, with the Eight of Coins, I mean, mentally and emotionally, I mean, coins aren't usually mental or emotional, but the Eight of Coins means to, you know, there's hard work and there's focus involved in this card, okay? So I just feel that mentally and emotionally, with the Two of Coins being the card of hard work and focus, sorry, the Eight of Coins being the card of hard work and focus, but also having that tenacity and that kind of, you know, that very strong working ethic that you're going to get through anything. This card here says to me that you're not fazed by this. There's a determination that comes with the Eight of Coins, because eights are ruled by strength, and strength is all about overcoming obstacles. But there is a need to remain strong-willed when you've got a strength card, knowing that you're going to overcome the obstacle, because the line on strength is often the obstacle, and the woman is, you know, the person who is able to overcome the obstacle and the fear. So I just feel with the Eight of Coins energy, it shows a strength of character mentally and emotionally, and having the ability mentally and emotionally to hammer away. Because with the mental, when you've got an Eight of Coins, you're consistently, because it's a mental thing, you're consistently thinking of something. It's a consistent card. So the Eight of Coins can be like this. So you're consistently hammering away at something with an Eight of Coins energy. Emotionally, with the Eight of Coins, again, it's about emotionally kind of just consistently. It's a consistent card, so it's more about continuously or consistently doing something, consistently doing an action. And I just thought that mentally and emotionally for you guys, it's all about being pragmatic and all about being extraordinarily focused and working hard. So mentally and emotionally, you feel that you might work very, very hard to really try and sustain whatever that Two of Coins is, or working hard to try and balance this thing out with the Two of Coins energy showing there. And what's the reason for that? I think, well, it's because of the Eight of Cups energy. All right. Now, the Eight of Cups, it's interesting because you've got two eights in the reading. So multiple eights are all about situations that are advancing and moving. And eights, as mentioned, they also represent the idea of strength, and because it's ruled by strength, and the idea that we can overcome obstacles as well. It's because of the Eight of Cups. So I just feel that for some of you guys, I think that you've entered a new phase here with this Eight of Cups energy here. And I think that this is something that you're probably not so used to. All right, I just get that impression. I think that with this Two of Coins being the situation for you guys, you're managing two things. You're managing more than you're used to, because when you get the twos as well, especially something like the Two of Coins, it means something is doubling up as well. So when you get this card, you're doubled up on something. Something has increased with the Two of Pentacles energy here. So for some of you guys, this is something that's increased. The workload's increased. You're doing something more than you would usually do it. And you have to really, with a Eight of Coins energy, use a very pragmatic and common sense approach, mentally and emotionally, to how you're going to get through that. Because I feel that this is a new path that you're on. I think this is something that you've just entered into with the Eight of Cups energy. I've also noticed that with the Eight of Cups energy as well, that's coronavirus, this card. I did a reading about my family and stuff last week, and this came up with the Four of Swords. Luckily, I think it was telling me that we're protected from this energy coming in. But this can be something entering. So something new may have entered the atmosphere. If you can you see how these kind of very ethereal things look like they're coming in? There's an open door and they look like they're entering. So something new may have entered your atmosphere, whether it's coronavirus or anything else. There's something new that's entered, and I feel that what's happening here is there is a need to kind of take on more responsibility here to which you guys mentally and emotionally, I think, Leo, are being very pragmatic with that Eight of Coins energy, and you're saying, you know what, we're going to get through this, because this is the card of just hammering away at stuff because you know that you're going to get through it. And it's because there's a new path, or something new has entered the atmosphere or entered your life with the Eight of Cups energy showing here. What's going on around the personal? So we've got the Knight of Swords being the situation. So there's been a sudden change. This can also be frustration and anger and resentment. But the Knight of Swords can be something swiftly happening. It can be information that's just arrived with the Knight of Swords energy. What are you experiencing concerning that Knight of Swords energy? Well, it's nice. You're overcoming a hurdle. There's a confidence with this. So I just feel that with this Knight of Swords, there has been something that's suddenly come in with this Knight of Swords. It's like a sudden change, some form of sudden. It's not about an exit or anything. It's something that's suddenly arrived. There's an arrival here being the situation. But I feel that what you're experiencing concerning this is a great deal of confidence that and it feels like it's a hurdle. It feels like something that is entered, something that's suddenly arrived is probably. It feels like it's a bit traumatic, to be perfectly honest with you, when I look at this reading. But it says to me that when you're experiencing the Six of Wands with this kind of sudden arrival, some of you guys are remaining very optimistic with the Six of Wands energy that you're going to overcome the hurdle. What's the reason for that Six of Wands energy there? Because of the moon energy showing here. I think because whatever it is that's entered with the Knight of Swords energy showing here, there's a lot of fear surrounding it. You've got the moon card there, a lot of fears, a lot of nervousness with this moon energy. There's a lot of stuff that is unknown about it. This feels like it might be the coronavirus thing that I'm looking at here. I'm not sure, but it feels like it. It's because of the moon. But also, the moon card can mean intuition as well. So there's a deep. And intuition is really, it's not just about kind of saying, yeah, my intuition is telling me this. It's also, for me, intuition is based on faith. and knowing as well, just a deep faith. So I just, with the moon card, I often read this as the deep faith card as well. So you guys know that you're going to overcome whatever this arrival is. This thing has suddenly just appeared and you guys are kind of experiencing the Six of Wands around it. For me, this is saying that your experience of this thing that's arrived is that you're confident that this is going to be okay. You're confident that you can overcome the hurdles. She's jumping the hurdles. You're confident that you can win, because this is there's a sense of intuition, there's a sense of knowing here, there's a sense of there's a great sense of belief here with this moon energy showing here. What are your hopes or desires concerning this situation? Well, there you go, strength. The situation is all about having strength. The situation is all about having fortitude and, a strong will, strong willpower, the strength energy. What are your hopes around that strength energy there? The Page of Coins energy showing here. So, around your hopes and desires, the situation is all about having strength. And you would hope, in terms of having strength, the Page of Coins energy. Well, I think that you could, I think in a way, because the Page of Coins is a student and he's learning, I think that the hope would be that you could learn how to have strength and how to have faith. So this is probably something that doesn't necessarily come naturally to you. And I don't think that this is intuition now. I think that this is fear and anxiety, because you're learning how to have that strength there. And strength I would probably very much associate, if I were to look at the moon card as being maybe something intuitive, Leo, I would probably look at strength and the moon as being very similar cards, in that there is a strong sense of belief when it comes to both cards, especially if you're feeling highly intuitive with the moon energy. There's much more of a knowing here with this card on a really deep gut level. Stuff with the moon energy showing there, which comes along with just having a very strong belief system in a way with both cards. But because we've got the believer of the Page of Coins and it's a new student, this is someone who's just learning the practicalities of something here, all right? It feels to me that this is more about fear. So here, there's the arrival of something just suddenly out of nowhere, the Knight of Swords energy, and your hope would be, and what you're kind of, experiencing concerning this is that you're overcoming it. So you're overcoming the hurdles that maybe this has posed because of the moon energy. So no, actually, sorry, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go to the fear aspect, because it makes sense that if you're overcoming the hurdles concerning whatever has arrived here, Leo, then it must be because you've got a very deep connection, I think, with the moon energy. But I think that the deep connection with the moon is to source. It's to God, probably. It's to the universe with this moon energy here. But all the same, around your hopes and desires, the situation is all about having strength. And you would hope around strength that you could do the Page of Coins energy showing here. Could be something to do with money. I mean, it's a very practical card, but also this is the card alone. Let's have a look at what the reason is that you would hope for the Page of Coins energy. King of Swords, because of the King of Swords. So King of Swords is an advisor, because you've been advised of something here. Maybe some advice that you've received here. The King of Swords is an advisor. Or maybe there are cuts being made. Swords represent cuts as well. It feels like it's a money thing more than anything. So it feels like you'd say, around the hopes and desires, I'm hoping that the situation is all about me having strength. Well, I would hope that in terms of me having strength, Page of Coins, maybe you would hope that you would have the strength to do the Page of Coins energy. Maybe to earn money. That type of thing. Maybe there are cuts being made. Maybe you've been advised of something here with the King of Swords energy showing there. Making money, it feels more like, maybe with that Page of Coins energy showing there. What is your expectations? Well, the situation is all about having a lot of pressure. Can be career pressure as well with the Ten of Wands. What are you expecting around all of this pressure with the Ten of Wands energy? Ace of Coins energy. So it depends what this is, because you're expecting money or work. You're expecting still to work hard, still to, focus on development. It's an interesting reading, your one is, because I'm not sure whether it feels like it's about something to do with coronavirus. That's how it feels. Everybody's been kind of on lockdown and stuff like that. I mean, luckily for me, I work in my own business, so I've always worked from home practically, but my twin sister and her partner work as managers at a big university, and they've all been sent home. They're all now having to kind of, and it feels in this area here that this is more having to accommodate to something new. So the situation always goes back to the Two of Coins, that you're adding. It feels like you're adding to what you already have for the Two of Coins, because as I said, the Two of Coins can be the need to double up. So something is being done. There's more being added onto what you already have. But it feels like this is working through this. You would expect to work through whatever that pressure is there. And what's the reason for that? Because of death. Because there's a big change that's occurred. There's a big change that's occurred here. So there's a lot of pressure here, but you would expect to work through this because there's been a big change. And also death is the need to adapt to something new. So we could say that, well, there's a lot of pressure here for Leo, but they would expect to work through this because of death energy, because they're having to adapt to something new. I think this reading is probably very much focused on having to adapt to something that is new and something that is not really that you're not really used to. I think it's showing in this area here, in this one here. Okay. And actually this is being resourceful, isn't it? Of course, the Page of Coins is the need to be resourceful. Remember, when you've got very little, or when you're, because this is the card that says we have very... Now, you can see that this is a young boy. And what he's doing is being offered money. He's got his own dog walking business. He's being resourceful with his skills. He's using his skills to be resourceful and make money. So I hope maybe, the situation is all about having strength. Maybe strength in a time of austerity. And your hope would be that I could be resourceful. Probably because with the King of Swords, the news, the information that's come along here. Maybe there are cuts being made with this King of Swords. Because King of Swords represents a time of austerity too, not just a person. So it may be in a very austere time, there is a need to be resourceful, and your hope would be that you could be resourceful. And you're expecting that, if things become too much, you'll still work through it, because there's a need to adapt to an ever-changing environment with the Death card showing here. What is it you cannot see coming in? This area here, I usually use it as my third week. So around the 10th of April, I would look at this energy here. Let's have a look. Queen of Swords is the situation here. So information again coming in. And this is very kind of direct information when you get the Queen of Swords energy. What is it that you can't see about this Queen of Swords? What's the information about? The Hermit. So this looks like coronavirus. It looks like there's more isolation to come with this Hermit. So the advice that's being given, the very kind of strict advice, this isn't please, this is you have to. When you get a Queen of Swords, it looks like it's something about the need to isolate oneself even further with the Hermit energy. What's the reason for that? Because of the Ten of Cups, because of families, because of the community. Things seem to be spreading because the Ten of Cups is one of the community showing here. So it's because of the community, because of the people around you, the Ten of Cups energy, because Ten of Cups is all about your families, the people around you. It might be that somebody in your family gets ill, something like that, and there is a need even further to, isolate yourself because you've got news coming in. So what you can't see is there's more news coming in, but this time this is more of a, even though we've definitely got the lockdown right now, and I think this is coronavirus that I'm looking at here. I don't know why it's just being given to Leo. I think that there may have been a reading that suggested this to maybe Pisces as well. There was something about Pisces and coronavirus as well. But this is for everyone really. But it feels like this is like really about the coronavirus thing, to be perfectly honest with you. And you guys, what you can't see is that the situation is about advisor, Queen of Swords, but this is kind of really strict advice. And what you can't see is that the strict advice is to Hermit, so it's to withdraw completely, isolate oneself because of the Ten of Cups, because of the communities that you live in, which is what the Ten of Cups is, it's community. And, the community that you live in, that it might be that the coronavirus is getting a little bit closer to home for some of you guys as well, with the Ten of Cups energy showing there. Let's have a look then towards the end of, towards the 18th of April, this area here. What is it that we're seeing? Well, the situation is all about the delays, things being put on hold. So, not being able to go into the workplaces, for example. Not being able to go to gatherings and things like that of more than a certain amount of people. Restaurants being closed down, for example. Non-essential travel. That's certainly what's happening in the UK. You can't really, if you don't have to travel. It doesn't say you can't travel, but if you don't have to travel, it really does advise you not to do it. What is it that you'll see coming in around that Hangman? What is it? that you'll experience. Right, the Two of Wands in the reverse. I think things are coming to an absolute standstill. Two of Wands reverse for me is things coming to a standstill. What's the reason for that? Because of the Chariot energy. I think it's because they need to get this thing under control. Obviously they do with the Chariot. And also the government, I think, which is the Chariot, because they're in charge of everything. The Chariot means to be in charge. Can you see how this boy is trying to navigate all of these obstacles? So there's probably more obstacles to come on this, and there is a need to try and navigate those things. So we have the delay, things being put on hold with the Hangman, things are in suspense with the Hangman, and around that what you're going to experience is things coming to a standstill here. So not really much more, because the Two of Wands in the upright is more about forward movement. In the reverse, this is no movement at all. So this is kind of like a standstill here, whilst the government, I think, with the Chariot tries to navigate the situation with the Chariot energy showing there. The overall outcome then for April will be the High Priestess is the situation. And sometimes when you get the High Priestess, it means, again, a standstill, means no movement. It doesn't just mean secrets and knowledge and things, but though obviously it does. This is often the secret knowledge as well card, but this could be the secret, or it could be a secret, could be some more information coming through that we didn't know about. But also the High Priestess can be a standstill card. What is the overall outcome around that High Priestess? Well, the King of Cups. So support is the King of Cups energy. So around, I think this is information here. I think this is information with the High Priestess. So the overall outcome, the situation will be about information, hidden information, in which the overall outcome will be the King of Cups. Perhaps somebody is bringing this information. Remember with the cup, they bring things. So somebody may be bringing this information here. What's the reason for that? Because of the Knight of Cups energy. Help and support. So more help and support. You've got this king and this knight. And they're both very loving and supportive and helpful people. And then we've got this High Priestess energy showing. It was interesting, we've got a couple of Pisces cards in there. I mean, hopefully this isn't kind of some bullshit that people are bringing in, because unfortunately Pisces energy can also be bullshit energy because it's ruled by Neptune. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's bringing in, and also the Ten of Cups is illusion as well. You've got 3 Pisces cards sitting in the reading so far. No, actually you've got 4. Hanged Man, High Priestess, Ten of Cups and the Knight of Cups, all of them Pisces, and this one dependent on whether you read it as Cancer or Pisces the Moon. So you've got about 5 Pisces cards, which to me says that the government really doesn't know what the hell is going on. Everything is kind of like just being pulled out of the air. A lot of information in a way is just being pulled out of the air, and people are being told to stay where they are because the universe, not the universe, the government doesn't really have an absolute grip on what the hell's going on here with this thing, which is fair enough because it's a new virus. It's called the Invisible Killer by some, you know, by some company, by some countries, and we really don't know, have the lowdown on this. We really don't know what we're dealing with. So that's probably why, you know, the funny thing is we don't have the Tower here, which suggests, you know, a huge amount of panic. But we're going to do this reading again. But for Leo, for the next 4 weeks, it's saying that the situation is all about having to, and also the Two of Coins is also about having to manage and having to adapt. Mentally and emotionally, you guys are working through this energy here, because this is a new path that you're on. This is something that you've not really encountered that much. And also we can see perhaps this is something to do with the virus entering the doors. In your personal life, sudden information, Knight of Swords energy, but what you're experiencing is that you're overcoming the hurdles concerning this. And also the Knight of Swords can be kind of this, it's an interesting thing that it's not the chaos of the Tower, but it can suddenly be something that comes in and it kind of upsets the apple cart a bit, but you're dealing with it with the Six of Wands energy. You're overcoming the hurdle, because I think that with the Moon energy, you've got this really deep trust, this deep sense of belief, I would say, with this Moon energy, that everything's going to be okay. The Strength card is around your hopes and desires. So the situation is all about having strength and fortitude and self-belief, in which you would hope with the Page of Coins energy. Around this strength, it's all about you. So you're hoping that you're going to be strong enough to be resourceful in these times with the Page of Coins energy, especially with the government's making certain cuts and things like that. Especially in the UK, we've got this thing with where people are just buying up huge amounts of toilet rolls and stuff like that. So it may be that you have to be resourceful, I don't know, and use something else, especially if you get a toilet roll or something with the King of Swords indicating a cut being made. We've got around your expectations, though, the situation is all about the Ten of Wands. So if things get really pressurizing, you guys are expecting that you'll just have to work through it with the Ace of Coins energy, because this requires you to make a massive change, a massive kind of, go through a massive period of adapting to the changes that are upon you. What you can't see coming in is that there's still going to be some very important news, and this is going to be an instruction with the Queen of Swords energy. So what we're seeing coming in, Leo, is instruction with the Queen of Swords. It's very strict. It's not a please can you, it's you have to with the Queen of Swords energy. And what it is that you're being told again to isolate, to still self-isolate, or just isolate completely because of, I think, the coronavirus in the community with the Ten of Cups energy. I think it's because of the community. It doesn't look bad at all, of course it doesn't, but the Ten of Cups nevertheless shows the community of people here. And also because the Ten of Cups is Pisces and it's ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is the planet of illusion and dreams, it may be that whatever is in the air is concealing itself. It doesn't make itself known, but it's still there. It's still there is still the illusion that everything is all right, but there is a hidden threat sometimes behind the Ten of Cups energy as well. There is a need to isolate oneself from the, from what you would consider to be okay, but what underlyingly has a very kind of negative and almost, macabre connotation, which would be coronavirus. It's out in the community, it's in your neighbourhood, that type of thing, which is what the Ten of Cups is. And also because of the family aspect too. So therefore, I would say, and by around the 18th, coming up to the 18th of April and stuff, I feel that there are still delays here with the Hangman. And I feel that what you're going to experience is lots of things coming to a standstill. That could even be public transport, things like that, because I think that the virus might ramp itself up, unfortunately. And that's the things are coming to a standstill because the government is still trying to get things under control. So while it's trying to get things under control, it wants to obviously keep, its people safe. So things coming to a standstill here. The overall outcome will be the situation is the High Priestess energy showing here. And that could be still things are unknown here. And the overall outcome around that unknown things is that maybe you're receiving suggestions or help or some form of assistance from people who are kind, people who are helpful, that type of thing here, because they want to offer their services as well with the Knight of Cups energy. They're trying to offer some really nice services to people. These are two very helpful cards. So this is saying that really the situation in the overall outcome is things are unknown. High Priestess is unknown. I mean, there could be some information comes, but it's really about the unknown, in which the overall outcome will be that people are going to be offering their services, I think, to you in these times of kind of uncertainty, that type of thing. There's just things that are designed to come out and help, just shift, the worry and the anxiety a little bit here. So very interesting reading for the next 4 weeks. Let's have a look at what the advice is for the next 4 weeks for Leo. What is the advice you have for Leo, please, over the next 4 weeks? What's the advice you have for Leo, please, over the next 4 weeks in one card? So the advice is knowledge. There you go. See what came out for you. It says seek knowledge. That's what it's saying here, okay? You're definitely being informed because you've got a Queen of Swords and you've got a King of Swords showing there. So they're information cards. And the High Priestess, though she's the unknown, and I'm reading her as that, she can also be somebody who's giving knowledge as well. Some very in-depth knowledge. Let's have a look at this card, knowledge, and what it has to say here. Okay, so let me just get this up here. So, knowledge. So, knowledge is the most powerful tool that you can use to bring about change to yourself and to the world around you. Building knowledge is an ongoing process with results that will last a lifetime. No one can take this away from you. Knowledge is the foundation that can provide you with opportunities of fulfillment and freedom to choose your life's path. It will bring about confidence and clarity. So follow your path with enthusiasm and focus. Mantra, knowledge brightens my horizons for the future. So yeah, you've got knowledge cards here. You've got a King of Swords. You've got a Queen of Swords. And it's interesting because what we have here as well, Leo, are Pisces cards. So actually we've got more than 5 Pisces cards. We've got the 8 of Cups. We've got the 10 of Cups showing here. We've got the Moon, depending on whether you read it as a Cancer or Pisces card. So 8 of Cups, Moon, 10 of Cups, that's 3. Then we've got, what else have we got? Then we've got the Hangman, that's 4. High Priestess, that's 5. Knight of Cups, that's 6. So, sorry if I've missed out any, but 6 Pisces cards. And Pisces can be the card of, I think there's a couple of things here. I think that the reading 6 cards out of 21 cards is heavily leaning to the need to adapt, because Pisces energy is all about being adapted to a different being able to adapt to the different circumstances. All right, so there is a need to adapt in these times for Pisces. The other thing to say with the amount of Pisces cards, I think, in the reading is also because it's ruled by Neptune, there's a lot of kind of haziness going on here. And there's a lot of kind of smoke screening going on here as well. And there is a need, because we've got the knowledge cards also of the King of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and also the Hermit and the High Priestess to a certain extent is knowledge. So because we've got 3 to 4 knowledge cards as well, and amidst 6 cards that indicate illusion as well. So when we're going through something that seems very illusionary, what is it that we need? Well, we need the knowledge. So seek knowledge. King of Swords, Queen of Swords, and the Hermit. Straight kind of High Priestess. Seek knowledge. And also the Knight of Swords is a knowledge seeker as well. All right. So seek knowledge in times of, you know, where we don't know what's going on. So this is next 4 weeks is a time for seeking more knowledge, because there's going to be a lot of smoke screening going on, I think, amidst this. I mean, look, I think the governments are doing what they can do. I mean, it might be a little bit late for some governments, just playing catch up. Certainly in the UK here, Boris has decided finally to, I'm wondering if he's going, I don't know whether he's shut down the schools yet or anything, but I certainly know that he's encouraging people to work from home. If you work out in an office, and it's crazy, it's like a ghost town out there, and it's crazy that we've kind of come to this at this time. But I think that certainly, you know, he's come to his senses in a way. I think it's still a little bit more needs to be done. I certainly don't really want to be on lockdown, but it's essential. Do you know what I mean? If people are dying from this disease every day and it's going up and up and up, it's a frightful thing. And I looked at the cards the other week to ask about it, and it did tell me it's going to advance a little bit here, so it's going to advance quite a bit. So it's got to kind of reach a peak, hasn't it, before it starts to trail off. But there is a need during the time of, you know, during the time of where there's a smoke screen, we don't really know what's going on, I think, in a way, with all these Pisces cards, to seek the, you know, the knowledge of this King and this Queen and the Hermit energy showing on here, and the Knight of Swords and the High Priestess to a certain extent. There's a need to seek knowledge showing here as well. So I think it's a week, the next 4 weeks is a time of seeking knowledge, and also just paying attention to what you're being told as well by the Queen of Swords, and isolating from the community a little bit. I know it's a bit shitty, but when you get the Hermit and the Ten of Cups, you're isolating from the community. I mean, for some of you guys, it's not going to be so easy to isolate from the community, because some of you guys work in the caring professions, and some of you guys, you know, have families, and maybe there's a family member that has it and that type of thing. But if you can kind of try and protect yourself as much as you possibly can, I think that would be for the greater good. But, you know, it's a really important time to seek knowledge as well, Leo. All right, that is your reading, my darlings, for the next few weeks. I'd like to say thanks ever so much for joining me on Carol's Universe. If you'd like to order a reading, you can click on the link in the comment section or at the end screen. Take care, guys. Love you. Bye.